Okay, well, welcome back to daryllorette Cafe here this morning, and I was on the internet looking for some monologues, and I found three that I liked, and I've only read through them once, and I'm going to do a read through here on YouTube and see what you think, and this way I can record it and watch it back and critique my own performance, if you will. So the first one here is from Kids in the Hall. If you're familiar with that, it's a Canadian show from the 90s, Kids in the Hall, from the TV series created by Dave Foley, Kevin McDonald, Bruce McCullen, Mark Kinley, and Scott Thompson. Okay, this one's called The Mass Murderer, which I thought was funny. Anyway, it starts off with the mass murderer basically talking about what it's like to be a mass murderer. So here it goes. The difficult thing about being a mass murderer isn't the murdering part, it's the mass part. It's the pace you've got to keep up, the sheer volume of murdering. Because the funny thing about killing, after the first time you've killed, the second time it's easy. The third time you start to get cocky. So you got to be careful. You got to know, you got to stay humble, or you make dumb mistakes. And by around the seventh time, you're likely to feel like you're in a bit of a rut. Want to get artistic with it? You know, start cutting off the middle toe of each victim so you know you're known as the middle toe murderer. By that point, I don't know. I think that's showboating. You know, you got to ask yourself, who am I doing this for? Am I doing it for myself or for the press? After about the 20th murder, well, you're likely to be sick of the whole thing. You know, sometimes I don't even want to look at another corpse. I feel if I even see a chainsaw, I'll scream. It's like what happened the other day. I had just finished ending a human life in a senseless act of violence when I ran into this old friend of mine from high school, and he says, "Hey, what you been doing?" And I think to myself, what have I been doing? What am I doing with my life? Where's this leading? Am I going to be doing this at 50? Sometimes I think I really should go back to college. Okay, that's the end of the first one. But yeah, I didn't really like that read through because I'm only reading through for the second time. So it's going to be a little rusty. So don't be too critical of me. I know I need a lot of work on this kind of stuff. Okay, the second one is from, this is something that episode of The Kids in the Hall, I'm not even sure if I've seen that, but I remember watching Kids in the Hall, and I remember I used to like it quite a bit. So the second one is called I Hate Hamlet, written by Paul Rudnick, I guess. His New York apartment is literally haunted by the ghost of John Barrymore, and thus TV star Andrew Raleigh is persuaded to play Hamlet in Central Park. After the premiere, he evaluates his own performance. It is noted the monologue must grow extremely passionate. Andrew must be transported back to the previous performance. So here it goes. I'm Andrew. So Andrew starts off like this. Last night, right from the start, I knew I was bombing. I sounded big and phony. Real thee and thou, and then I started rushing it. Hi, what's new in Denmark? I just could not connect. I couldn't get a hold of it. And while I'm babbling, I look out and there's this guy in the second row, a kid like 16, obviously dragged there, and he's yawning and jiggling his legs and reading his program. And I just wanted to say, hey kid, I'm with you. I can't stand this either. But I couldn't do that. So I just kept feeling worse and worse, just drowning. And I thought, okay, all my questions are answered. I'm not Hamlet. I'm not an actor, and I'm not. What am I doing here? And then I get to the soliloquy, the big job. I'm right in the headlights, and I just thought, oh Christ, the hell with it. Just do it. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take up arms against the sea of troubles, and by opposing end them. And I kept going. I finished the speech, and I look out, and there's the kid, and he's listening. The whole audience, complete silence, total focused. And I was Hamlet, and it lasted about 10 more seconds, and then I was in hell, and I stayed there. But for that one bit, for that one speech, I got it. I had it, Hamlet, and only 8,000 lines left to go. Okay, that's that one, and the last one would be Death of a Salesman, written by Arthur Miller. This is a Willie speech, and it pretty much goes like this. Business is definitely business, but just listen for a minute. You don't understand this. When I was a boy, 18, 19, I was already on the road, and there was a question in my mind as to whether selling had a future for me, because in those days I had a yearning to go to Alaska. See, there were 3 gold strikes in 1 month in Alaska, and I felt like going out, just for the ride, you might say. Oh, yeah, my father lived many years in Alaska. He was an adventurous man. We've got quite a little streak of self-reliance in our family. I thought I'd go out with my older brother and try to locate him and maybe settle in the north with the old man. And I was almost decided to go when I met a salesman in the Parker House. His name was Dave Singleman, and he was 84 years old, and he drummed merchandise in 31 states. And old Dave, he'd go up to his room, you understand, and put on his green velvet slippers. I'll never forget, and pick up his phone and call the buyers, and without even leaving his room, at the age of 84, he made his living. And when I say that, I realized that selling was the greatest career a man could want. Because what could be more satisfying than to be able to go at the age of 84 into 20 or 30 different cities and pick up a phone and be remembered and loved and helped by so many different people. Do you know? When he died, and by the way, he died the death of a salesman in his green velvet slippers in the smoker of the New York, New Haven, and Hartford, going into Boston. When he died, hundreds of salesmen and buyers were at his funeral. Things were sad on a lot of trains for months after that. See, in those days, there was personality in it. Howard. There was respect and comradeship and gratitude in it. Today it's all cut and dried, and there's no chance for bringing friendship to bear or personality. You see what I mean? That they don't know me anymore. So that's pretty much it. That's my my 3 monologues that I'm going with. I'll make a choice after I try to memorize them a little better and try to work with them a little more and familiarize myself with them. So maybe I'll come back again after I've read them some more and memorized them a little better and see what happens. Until next time, we'll see you again. Bye bye.